astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is your astrological forecast as I see it for December 2020. All right, so there's a couple things, namely two of them. We've got a Jupiter conjuncting Saturn on solstice, which is winter solstice, which is on the 21st of December. And we also have a new Moon Total Eclipse on the 14th of December in Sagittarius. Those two things stand out for me for December. But we start off around the 5th of December with Venus in Scorpio trining Neptune, that is in Pisces still, and will be for quite a few years. And this is just a lovely energy where we will more easily be able to express our passions. This may also have something to do with our money and our value systems. And again, this is ability to express these things more easily. Spirituality may become an important part of some of our lives at this time, where you value it a lot more. We have Mercury for the first half of December in Sagittarius. And I think this is going to kick off December for all of us to feel much more optimistic, hopeful, and where our minds are actually joyous, as opposed to feeling that we are constantly having to protect ourselves. This is going to be a turning point month for us, December. And Mercury here in Sagittarius is a beautiful place to have it. From the 10th to the 12th of December, we have Mars, which is still in Aries, but it is direct. We'll be trining the south nodes and then sextiling the north nodes of the moon. So this just basically assists us all to more easily let go of past stuff, especially with regards to our opinions and our philosophical views that don't really mean much to us anymore. We can more easily let go of that and incorporate now the north nodes of the moon, where we're more in symbiotic relationship with everyone around us. This is an opportunity for us to do that, and it'll just be so much easier and be more obvious to us individually. So on the 14th of December, this is when we have this new moon total eclipse that is in Sagittarius. It is at 23 degrees and 8 minutes Sagittarius on the 14th of December. Now the birthdays that directly affect it will be the 13th to the 15th of December birthdays, but it's going to be a total eclipse, so it's going to be affecting for sure all Sagittarians and Sagittarius risings. But this heralds a new beginning for us, a new hopeful. Sagittarius is hopeful and optimistic. And this effect will be about 6 months, so we can look forward to having this types of feelings for the next 6 months from December on. Very, very optimistic and positive for us. On this day, we also have Mercury will be conjuncting this new moon, certainly with an orb, so that means that it'll be conjuncting the south nodes. So it's going to assist us to do this. And this may also, in the collective, have people making more positive announcements and more hopeful announcements. Right? And of course we will have Venus sextiling Jupiter. Venus is also conjuncting Juno. And I think when I looked at these aspects, I thought that this could perhaps be a time where, and it may be female or females, that make some kind of changes with regards to how we view marriage. Juno, the asteroid, is the asteroid of marriage. And that's what I thought about this, because Mercury is in the mix here as well as Venus. But it could also just have us, making some headway with regards to what is a marriage, or what is the feminine principle in that marriage. And having some agreement on that with the Mercury here involved. And again, this is all around this total eclipse, so this is marking a time in the sand as well for the next 6 months. Perhaps there will be things that we'll work on that, we'll put it in writing. Okay. Now we're looking at the 21st of December, the momentous time when we not only have winter solstice, but we also have the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And this will be at 0 degrees and 26 minutes of Aquarius. Now, both Jupiter and Saturn have been cavorting together very closely since really November, but this is the exact time when they're exactly conjunct. And what's interesting about this is that we're going to be able to see it in the night sky, so get out there, guys. The 21st of December, around sunset. Now, sunset on the Pacific coast is going to be at 4:47 p.m. Now, this view of Jupiter and Saturn is only going to be for a few hours, so don't hang around waiting. Once sunset happens, get out there and look to the southwest. You can't really miss Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be shining brightly at this time, and then to the left, a little higher up, is going to be Saturn. And so this will actually show you literally this astrological event that I'm talking about in the actual sky with these two planets. Quite significant. So this happens approximately every 300 years, but it was 1623 the last time we had Jupiter conjuncting Saturn in the sign. So this also starts a whole new number of 20-year cycles for the next few hundred years with regards to Jupiter conjuncting Saturn in air signs. So that's very, very important in terms of the type of energy that this is giving out, right? So Aquarius is very much about is outer space. It is also, anything that comes over the air waves, that type of thing. The other thing that's interesting is a few hours later, still on the 21st of December, we have a quarter moon, and it is at 0 degrees of Aries. And I also thought this also heralded and reinforced a new beginning for us. Now, for us astrological folks that follow the Western astrology, this is the start of the astrological year, 0 degrees of Aries. So I think this is an important time, both the new moon total eclipse on the 14th and then this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius on the 21st of December. See what happens around both these time points, especially what comes into your life at this time. Yeah. Also on the 21st, but also following into the 22nd December, we have Mars, which will be squaring Pluto. So this is a very kind of high octane energy. On the positive side, this increases great creative energy for change, and that's the best way to be using this. Negatively, it is going to be great opposition with arguments and disagreements, so please take care of your ego at this time. On the 29th of December, we have the final moon, and it is a full moon at 8 degrees of Cancer. So this concludes a new moon total eclipse that we had from August 2019. So we can see what did we start around that time now comes to some kind of conclusion or ending. Also at this full moon, we have the moon sextiling Uranus and the sun trining Uranus. Beautiful, beautiful. So this is again just nice energy where we get maybe some real insight with regards to higher levels of consciousness and maybe connecting with Source, the universe, God, that type of thing is emphasized at this full moon. But a full moon in Cancer, of course, relates to Cancer type things. And what are those things? Well, this is our mother. It's where we came from. It's our habits. It's our home, both the home that we live in now and our home that we grew up in. But it's also where we want to feel safe and secure. So this may be a time where we actually are seeing how we can be much more secure and safe in our homes and our homeland. We also have a square to Neptune from Venus, which is now in Sagittarius. I don't really see this as much of a negative thing. Certainly it can bring disillusionment in love affairs. But I see this Venus really adding a beautiful sort of hue to her spirituality, and can be a time, certainly if you create music, where you can create some absolutely beautiful music at this time. I was reminded of Carl Sagan when I was putting together this whole storyboard for December 2020. And Carl Sagan, for most of us, would remember him. He would do this, I think it was a weekly program called The Cosmos, and he would help educate us all on the stars and the planets, that type of thing. He's dead now. He died in the late 90s, but his wife is still with us, his third wife. But this is one of his sayings that I thought was very appropriate for December 2020. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way of the universe to know itself. And I looked up his chart, just out of curiosity. And his chart has his midheaven conjuncting his north nodes of the moon at about 3 degrees of Aquarius. Well, how appropriate as a tie-in, especially with the Jupiter conjunct Saturn at almost 1 degree of Aquarius. Maybe this is his chance to make contact with us. Who knows, right? Speaking of contact, that was a book that he wrote. He wrote many books, but that was one he wrote. And the film was adapted by him as well as his wife, Andrian. And Andrian still works in the cosmos behind the scenes with Neil deGrasse. She does a beautiful job. But this film that was created was called Contact as well, and it starred Jodie Foster. And her love interest was Matthew McConaughey. So if you've not seen it, I'd highly recommend it. It really, for me, speaks to certainly the Jupiter-Saturn cycle that starts on the 21st of December, but I think for the whole month. And it does speak to this film of a female scientist searching for the truth and alien contact. But there's this love story that's great. But I really do see this as the effects over this 20-year cycle of Jupiter conjuncting Saturn as one possibility. So us looking to outer space, searching for the truth out there, and then having a better framework or structure, that's Saturn, from which we can actually hear and interpret other, I suppose, entities that are out there in the universe besides us, where we can actually hear, right, through the airwaves. And of course, air is what the element is that represents Aquarius. Anyway, my take on it. So when we look to January 2021, we've got a new moon that conjuncts Pluto. And this is going to be an official brand new start for us. And the very next day, we're going to have Uranus going direct. So this is just going to usher in literally a breath of fresh air. Really, really is a brand new start. So we can look at December as maybe tying things up and being optimistic, not pessimistic, and more hopeful. Also in January 2021, we have Mercury will be conjuncting, in Aquarius, it'll be conjuncting that whole Jupiter conjunct Saturn from December. So I see this as a big announcement that's going to be all over the airwaves. And the end of January, we have Jupiter and Saturn, respectively, will be sextiling Chiron. Great healing, right? So we can look forward from December to January 2021 with an optimistic eye this time. All right, everyone, please take care of yourself. Lots of love to everybody. I will be doing an extended video next, and that will cover all the ascendants as well as the sun signs as I see it for 2021. So look out for that. That's my extended video that I do next. And I'll timestamp everything too, so you can go and look at whatever you listen to, whatever you want to, in that video more easily. Take care, everyone. And this is the end of a very interesting year. I think 2021 is going to be much more positive, much more optimistic, and certainly a lot more safe and secure. Take care.